What is up? Happy Monday. As happy as you can have it. It's a hell of a week last week. I think we all recognize that. Even the weekend, I told my friends, hey, guys, I don't want to see anything. Right? I don't want to see anything. There's enough of it out there. I don't need to see it. Stop. And I told everybody, stop rage baiting yourself. Stop looking up crap that you don't need to look up. Stop feeding the algorithm that will continue to give you stuff that you rage about that is not healthy for you. It is not. I said, go watch movies, go watch sports, take a deep breath, because some people out there are getting super worked up. And not in a way where you're like, okay, I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to run with it. Like we're hearing about, some 25 to 30,000 new, groups coming in saying, hey, guess what? I want to figure out what I can do with Turning Point. No, people there was too many people raging because they see something they didn't like. And I get it, but everybody needs to take a deep breath. Okay, every once in a while, the temperature needs to be brought back down. You can be angry, but use it in a positive way. It's going to go a lot further than a reactionary way. There's a bunch of hateful people. There is a bunch of horrible human beings. And my question is, who raised you? You don't think that's going to come back and bite you in the ass? You don't think at any point in time that you think, maybe this wasn't the best thing? Maybe I shouldn't say this? Maybe there's, I don't know. Maybe I should just take a deep breath and not say something? The thing that I was watching Scott Adams, who, I enjoy. He's kind of funny. And he was talking about this, and he's so spot on in this situation.
So there are numerous stories of teachers and people associated with schools of various types who are getting canceled, meaning fired, for saying horrible things about essentially being happy or saying it was justified that Charlie Kirk got assassinated. What do you think about that? That people are losing their jobs all over the place. Well, let me tell you the thing that is most shocking about that. The most shocking thing is that the people who spoke out that way believed they wouldn't get fired. I think they were all surprised, which means they've been living entirely within a bubble in which they thought other people would agree with that.
Yeah. Imagine that. You live in that world where you thought, well, all of my friends feel this way. And all the people I follow on X or Blue Sky or watch on YouTube or whatever or read, they all feel this way. So everybody feels this way. And then you come to find out, oh, wow. No, not everybody does. Not everybody feels this way, nor should they. Whatever decent human being. Whatever happened to somebody going, whatever happened to common sense going, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea.
That left a long time ago, Brother Chad.
Oh, my God. I mean,
a lot of people.
It is, I was fascinated by, as I watched some of these people say some of the most insane things, I thought, you really thought there would be no repercussions, that you were celebrating another human being's death and reveling in it, and you thought there would be no repercussions. How stupid are you? Well, we found out. A lot of people have been suspended, fired, all of the things. Some places it takes a little bit longer because of unions.
Tenured professors.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Well, you know what? Your thinking is, I can't be fired. Nobody can do anything to me. I am above reproach in this position, and there's no way you can remove me. Well, lo and behold, they're finding out ways. They're finding out ways. And you are feeding in, thank goodness, that people are starting to see that the insanity on college campuses in particular and in schools. Like, what the hell are people doing? I shouldn't be shocked. You know what? Because I often wonder, I would like to think we had better common sense, but you know what? You go back to when JFK was assassinated. If we had, social media, what would people have said? I don't know. MLK, what would people have said? RFK? I have no idea what people would have said in those things. Malcolm X, stuff like that. I have no idea. I would like to think that as horrible as they may think some things, they wouldn't put it out there. But they live in this world where they think they're untouchable and that nothing can happen to them and that they're allowed to say whatever they want, which they are. Nobody denied them the right to say what they said. So when you hear the great pushback of, well, should they have really been fired? Well, that's up to I'm not a big cancel culture fired person, but as a business owner, I would say it's tough for me to have you do business with my people knowing full well this is how you feel about a group of people that I serve on both the right and the left who buy stuff.
Yeah, because you literally could be cutting 50% of your potential revenue.
There's a reason Michael Jordan said, I don't say anything because even Republicans buy shoes.
Yeah.
Because he knew. Stay as apolitical in that situation. And that's what I think after the summer of love that had nothing to do with love and all to do with breaking stuff, lighting stuff in fire and throwing a fit. After that, all these companies started to pull away. Because they don't want to be involved in any of this because they get pushed back on all sides. You know what they want to do? They want to sell their tchotchkes. They want to sell their widget. They want to sell their clothing item, their whatever it is that they have. They're not interested in all the other crap. Because, as Ken said, 50% of the country is going to be pissed off. And that's what you got. It is amazing. It was amazing to watch the stupidity of human beings just continue to open their foot and put it in over and over again. What happens when 5 or 10 years goes by and you realize, oh my God, that was stupid? That ain't going to age well.
No, it's out there forever.
Yeah. I mean, that is not going to age well. And your kids are going to look up and go, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, do you remember that time that you went and you said horrific things about a guy being murdered in front of the world? And you were gleeful about it? Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not. And some people haven't walked it back. And look, if that's the way you feel, knock yourself up. It's a free country. It's the beauty of our country. You're not asking for any more to happen. As long as that's going on, you're fine. But that being said, it ain't age well. It isn't. And it's not going to age well in the future. And there is repercussions. Just because you have free speech doesn't mean you're free from the actions that come with that speech. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Ken watched some football. I watched football. That was a wonderful thing. That was a good time not thinking about stuff.
Yes, sir.
It was great. And tonight you're going to go see a band.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go see the King of Yacht Rock.
The Doobies.
With Michael McDonald, which I always loved the Doobie Brothers. I loved the Doobie Brothers before Michael McDonald.
It's hard not to.
I like him after
She
Michael
came from
McDonald.
somewhere
Back in her long ago.
He's spectacular.
Yeah, it's like I've got Tourette's today, man. I just keep busting out in, you don't know me, but I'm your brother. Oh. And it's horrible, but I can't stop.
It's okay. It's okay. It's what God wants. You know what? That is.
I'm afraid some of those other...
God's okay with it, but Michael's going to ban you.
No, he's not. I hope he sounds good.
I've listened to some of their shows before now, and he sounds great.
Because who was I seeing? I watched something the other day. They had somebody on stage, and I thought, oh, well, that's time to go away, you know? The Who actually sounded okay. They just didn't move.
Oh, the Who.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, and Billy Idol sounded pretty good. He just didn't move. I mean, he was Billy, but it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Try moving with a bad hip.
Yeah, you could tell too, because you could tell how he's walking. It was not good. But there are some other ones out there. I thought, ooh.
David Lee Roth is one. There's a clip floating around of him trying to sing "Dance the Night Away," and it's terrible.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's real. And I don't want to roast David Lee Roth. I mean, I like David Lee Roth, but man, it was just bad.
Yeah. It's somebody's willing to pay you. You don't want to think that the time is gone. And so you're going to go out there. And David, too, if you guys haven't seen him, he's still in great shape.
Oh, yeah.
He's
kicking
fit.
everything like,
But he just can't sing. It's not. He can't even sing like California Girls. Like, take away anything from Van Halen.
Right.
It's not there. And it's got to be tough, man, when you're in that position. When you still want to give it up. It's the athlete, right? Like some people stay too long. They stay those 1 or 2 seasons too long.
Yeah.
And others, they leave a little, maybe 1 or 2 seasons early. Sandy Koufax is like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he was 29. That guy was arguably the greatest pitcher of all time up until that point. And
I think Barry Sanders kind of.
He totally did.
He was still kind of in his prime and said, you know what? I'm going to be in a wheelchair if I keep taking hits like this.
And this team sucks. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Detroit's awful. We're never going to win. Scott Mitchell's my quarterback. We're crap. We're never going to the playoffs. And, I can't take the ball and outrun everybody on the field on every play.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was he? He was getting the ball like 34, 36 times.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah. I mean, I understand why he left. I do. I absolutely understand why he left. It was kind of, some people leave too early. Some people stay way too late. And somebody's willing to pay you 20, 30, 50 grand for a night. You're not going to say no. No. And it's the rockers are the ones I see struggling the most, right? Like you're a crooner. You're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
But for some of these guys, no.
It's kind of like Robert Plant. Robert Plant still sounds good for what his collaborations he has done with Alison Krauss are outstanding.
Yes.
But I wonder if he could still hit some of those old Led Zeppelin high notes, man.
Probably.
Doubtful.
Probably.
Because, I mean, he had range.
He did, but he probably recognized, like Billy Joel says, look, I can't sing like that. And Elton John, I don't sound like that.
Right.
There's only an area I go to now. I'm not going past that.
Right. I don't blame
Like,
him,
that
man.
ain't going to get there anymore. So if you want to
even
pay.
Sammy Hagar said there's certain Van Halen songs he won't do because he can't do them right.
Yeah. So it's just crazy, man. But, if somebody's willing to pay, what, 100 grand and I don't have to do anything, just show up? Oh, okay.
But I hear Michael McDonald is still rocking it, man.
Right. She came from somewhere back
in long ago.
Fantastic. See, little smiles on their faces, kids. We need that today. Bunch of stuff to get to. Memphis, you're getting a visit. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Trump sending guys over to fix your problem. Talk a little bit. Oh, it's kind of funny. The whole thing about that. We'll talk a little bit about that, a bunch of other stuff, more on Charlie Kirk. The Emmys last night there wasn't a ton of talk about stuff, but it was Nate Bargatze, which was hilarious. Talk a little bit about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Bench, Super Talk, and that's it. Birch Gold, right now, if you're new and you've never, ever bought gold before, it's a great time right now to do it. And I'll tell you why, because you have an opportunity to get a rebate of up to $10,000. And Birch is amazing at what they do. But first and foremost, it's about information. Got to get the info to make the right decisions. This is what I want you to do. Text the word Benson to 989898 today. They'll get you out all the information you need on Birch Gold, what it is that they do, and how that you can be a part of what they're trying to do, which is help people understand why gold's important because of the unsteadiness in the market, because of global chaos, because of what is happening when it comes to interest rates. It's just a smart place to be right now. And gold is a great way to diversify. So find out if you can get yourself the opportunity, get a $10,000 rebate when it comes to purchasing gold, and they're going to help you out. It's not going to cost you anything but a text. Text the word Benson to 989898 today. That's the word Benson to 989898. Text them now for Birch Gold.
All right, drivers, looks like we've cleared that up on the eastbound East Loop downtown at Shelby Avenue. Looks like everything's moving according to the way it should this time of day. Vice President Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast today. Let you hear some of that, and then reports say there's a framework deal to keep TikTok. This and more at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Every second you go over 45 seconds, we will deduct $1,000 away from the Boys and Girls Club. I know. That's tough. It's hard. That's tough. It's brutal. What are you gonna do, though? You know, I can't change it. This is a game I made up, and these are the rules. So,
last night, Nate Bargatze hosted the Emmys. I saw some of him. And the opening little skit thing he did was kind of like when he does the George Washington skit on Saturday Night Live, but this was him coming up with the television and what's going to be on it. And it was the same kind of thing, just ridiculous. But it was apolitical and funny. And he was talking there about the Boys and Girls Club. He said, hey, put $100,000 up. But here's the deal. Every time you go over 45 seconds, every second we take $1,000 away from the Boys and Girls Club. But if you come under, we're going to give them $1,000. And then he told everybody not to be crazy about going under because it's his money. But, there was very few, no mentions about Charlie Kirk and very few mentions of politics in general. And I like the fact that he, because you could see that they were like, oh, my God, he's serious, right? He may give money to Boys and Girls Club. And we could be the ones to take it away. I told Belle, I would have just went up there if I'd have won and went, thank you, and then walked away. There'd been an extra $45,000. So it was, I don't know who won. You know what? I do know one person who won. Noah Wiley in the show The Pit, which is one of the few shows I've ever seen that wins anything. Because that show was awesome. Outside of that, I don't know. If it ain't football, which is another thing over there on that skit he did that was hilarious. Because they said, oh, so our streaming shows will be the biggest shows ever. He goes, no, that'll be football. You can't beat football. You just can't.
You can't.
And I liked when the one, I can't remember his name, but the Saturday Night Live alum who says, will there be an Asian television channel?
Yeah.
You asked about streaming.
Because it was just like when you watch if you've never seen him do George Washington on Saturday Night Live, it is hilarious because he will just talk about the most inane things. And there's Keenan there. And he always asks about black entertainment or black anything. And he just ignores everything he says. And it was the same thing. So it was, that's what you get from that. And I was watching football, so I didn't know. Because I love football. Watch football all weekend. It was great. Watched soccer yesterday morning, then some football.
I tell you what, dude, that Vols and Georgia game, that was an awesome game.
Yeah, it was.
I feel awesome. So sorry for that kicker for the Vols, man.
Did Georgia win?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as Matt's happy.
That kicker for the Vols, he had the leg.
He did.
I mean, he just needed to move a little bit, a couple of yards over, and it would have gone right.
I watched that Cowboys game, and by the way, the Cowboys have a kicker named Brandon Aubrey who played Major League Soccer. And then after a few years, he was let go, and he's like, I don't know if I want to play soccer. Then he had a regular job and said, I want to do this. I could kick. He went to the USFL, set all these records. Never kicked before. Got an opportunity in camp and won it last year with the Cowboys. He kicked this 64-yarder, and the thing hit the net halfway up.
Yeah. It would have been good from 70 or 75.
Yeah. They asked him where he was comfortable from, and he goes, 71. That's comfortable. And then when he kicked the 46-yarder, you're like, this is easy peasy. Easy peasy.
I remember back in the 70s, everybody thought it was a big deal when a kicker would be barefoot and hit a 40-yarder.
Oh, they would freak out.
Now they're hitting 60 and 60.
You hit a 50-yarder? I don't even know if that exists.
Who was the guy in, I think, the 80s that had half a foot? And he was
that was Tom Dempsey. He had the record for a while. He had it was wood. Like his foot, he had missing his toes, and it was like his shoe was wood.
Really?
He would run and he would kick the ball. You go look at those guys way back in the day, the guys that used to toe punt it. They're hilarious. They'd be like, Jim, he's 9 for 27. He's having a great year.
The kickers are, over there on the bench smoking a cigarette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then it was like these soccer-style kickers. They can't. Oh, well, he can kick it far. Yeah. And it's good. So, but that was a nice relaxation this weekend. We're going to have a visit from the President of the United States. Not here, but potentially in Memphis. That was rather interesting, wasn't it? Because he's not going to Chicago. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, they're just doing ice in Chicago.
Yeah, they're just doing ice, baby. So they're heading there, but we're going to be seeing what's going to happen in Memphis. Some people unhappy about it. Some people, they're dealing with it. I don't know if they're happy with it, but they don't really have a choice. So we're talking a little bit about that, among other things. If you're missing the show, we always say, Shane, when you grab the podcast, you can reach out to us across all of our social media, at Chad Benson Show for me. Check us out on Twitch, X, Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 5 minutes. Vice President J.D. Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast today. Spoke about Kirk as his friend. Highlighted what he said was Kirk's incredible influence in conservative politics.
Of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship.
Vance also echoed recent comments from President Trump, saying he believes that, quote, left-wing extremism contributed to Kirk's death. The motives of the suspect, Tyler Robinson, officials have not announced. Reports say there is a framework deal with the Chinese on the ownership of TikTok.
The White House isn't saying what that framework looks like, but a spokesperson for the vice president does say this, that hundreds of millions of Americans will now be able to continue safely enjoying this highly popular app thanks to what they call the president's decisive leadership. So they're acknowledging that a deal is done, but not giving details of what this deal, this framework deal, looks like.
U.S. officials say President Trump and Chinese President Xi will provide those details later this week. And a pole vault world record broken for a 14th time by a 25-year-old known as Mondo.
We heard from the Treasury Secretary, though, saying that the president is expected to talk to China's President Xi at the end of this week after they finalize this and likely announce the deal at that point. We should note that the TikTok app is subject to a permanent ban in this country because of legislation that was passed last year by Congress during the Biden administration. But that was all subject to the ownership shifting to a significant U.S. stake. The president has extended that repeatedly with these 90-day extensions. That deadline now is coming up again, September 17th, in just 2 days.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Weather Center. Staying warm again today. I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Melanie Leiden. High temperatures back in the 90s this afternoon. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds, and while most of the area stays dry, a pop-up shower can't be completely ruled out. The rain chance today just 20%. Lows fall down to the 60s overnight. We'll stay warmer than average in the 90s all week long.
All right, guys, talk about friends over at Beacon Capital Management. They got a lot of stuff they want to talk to you about when it comes to one big, beautiful bill, because there's lots of things in there you don't know may benefit you in major ways, and that's why you have to call them today. Things like up to $10,000 in car loan interest you can deduct, but there's some things that you have to think about. Is it assembled here in the USA? That's a big deal. Some other restrictions as well. How about this above line charitable deductions? $1,000 for individual, $2,000 for couples. Lots of these things are also, they sunset. So you have to know when to use them and how to use them. And here's a big one. If you are in a situation where you're 65 or older, this expires in 2028, but the opportunity to take advantage of an additional senior deduction up to $6,000 with a phase out. Again, phase out. So many things phase out. You got to know how to take care of them right. That's why you need somebody who's an expert with taxes. And that's where Beacon comes in. Beacon Capital Management can help you understand how to take advantage of all these things before they vanish for a personalized financial consultation. It's absolutely free. Visit beaconcm.com or call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303 for Beacon Capital Management. This is the paid placement. All right, guys, the Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to help you get your back, get you feeling better, get you rocking and rolling. Right now, Big Daddy Trump special, $12, comprehensive exam, x-rays if needed. They're going to explain the diagnosis and your first treatment. Call 615-246-5009. Check out everything they do at painisbad.com. And the reason is simple. You don't want to live in pain. You don't have to. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. So if you're struggling with back, neck, pain, sciatica, slip, bulging, spinal disc, hernia, all this stuff, right? You tingle in your arms, let them help you. And they're going to get it done for you. I tell you that right now. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are incredible. Take advantage of it. The Big Daddy Trump special. It's just $12. Comprehensive exam, x-ray. Bring your MRI if you have one. They're going to diagnose you and your first treatment. That's it, just $12. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. Don't worry, Ken, I got you.
Armand Duplantis was born and raised in Louisiana, but he competes for Sweden, his mother's home country, where he's a huge star. The young man whose nickname is Mondo was in Tokyo at the World Championships, easily winning his 49th straight meet and 5th major title. But he kept the crowd around for another half hour, anxiously watching, hoping to see him go for another world record. And he did it, clearing his top height of 20 feet, 8 inches on his third and final try, the bar wobbling but staying put as he leapt off the mat and began the celebration.
There you go.
Mondo!
So here's my thing.
Some billionaire's going to leave him $1 billion.
No, you know what happens? He breaks it by a centimeter each time because every time he breaks it in his contracts, he gets an extra bonus of X, Y, and Z, depending on what he's doing.
So he can actually do better.
So you don't want to you don't want to max out.
Right.
You don't do that once.
Right.
So there he goes, Mondo. How about Mondo? Why did he choose Sweden? Come on, Mondo, you're from Lafayette.
He's an ABBA fan.
Probably. I wonder if he's ever been to Sweden. It's like one of those things where he's like never been to Sweden. Like when Italy had a hockey team in the Olympics. It's like over to Smith, over to Jorgensen. You're like, none of these people have ever been to Italy, right?
There was no over to Romano.
Yeah, none of that stuff. It's like, yeah. My grandma, she's she's Italian, I think. I'm just excited to be here at the Olympics. So congratulations, Mondo. Born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana. The whole thing with TikTok. I want to go over TikTok again with us. We as a nation, the adults in the room, say to selves, China wants to steal every piece of data we have. Yeah. This is dangerous. We need to get rid of this. And then everybody, right and left, is like, this is right. They're coming. It's dangerous. We got to get rid of it. Trump's like, yes. And then everybody starts making the move, and Trump and everybody, even before that, you had Biden, everybody was on this, right? Left, right, center, it didn't matter. Then they found out that the young were not happy. And the young were super upset. And then they're like, we can't have this. Like, they're coming after me. They don't call me if rates go up on healthcare. They don't call me if there's crime rampant in my city. They call me when TikTok may go away. It was flooding many of these House members and Senate, it was flooding their phones. They could do nothing about it, right? And think about this. This is coming from kids who are afraid to use the phone. That's how much this meant to them. And then Trump's like, somebody's got to buy it. It's an American. And then lo and behold, here we are. I don't know who's going to buy it. They're keeping it quiet. But apparently a deal may be done. Who could it be? Who could it be? So the next contestant on Trump's coming into your neighborhood is going to be the folks of Memphis. They're going to have a visit from, well, I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like. Neither does the mayor, Mayor Young. He's not really sure either.
I do not support the National Guard. However, they are coming. It's not the mayor's call. The mayor doesn't have a say or the authority to stop them from coming. And so my goal is to make sure that as they come, that I have an opportunity to work with them to strategize on how they engage in this community.
And you have no idea how that's going to happen. The governor is excited for this. There is a lot of issues when it comes to, first of all, crime reporting data it's a mess in the way that it's reported. Because in some of the reports, so if you go and commit 3 crimes in one, so you could go and you could murder somebody, but before you did that, you robbed them. And that was why you were there. Then they were there. And you're like, then you try to clean up the place by going, well, I'm going to clean up the crime scene by burning it down. So you've done 3 things: robbery, arson, and murder. Murder's the one that sits up top. So they don't count the other 2 as crime because all they're focusing on is the murder. When it comes to statistics, you're like, oh, that's weird. So they've got this new way they do statistics that pretty much everybody does, except for a lot of places that haven't caught up to it yet. It's like, this is out there. This is what we're all doing, but things are antiquated. The other thing is the way that they label stuff. And we've talked about the reclassification of crime. And reclassification is if it is you go in and you assault somebody and you beat them and then you take a pack of gum, they count that as theft, not assault. It's theft. They can write that as theft. And you're like, oh. So this is one of those things where, look, Memphis has got issues. If you don't believe me, this she's not happy about Memphis and what's going on there.
It's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to the market or the service station. So, yeah, I want to see the crime stop. And if the National Guard is going to stop the crime, bring them on.
I don't know what the National Guard's going to do. That's the big thing. Nobody really knows what they're going to do. They're going to show up. That's what we know. How they're going to show up. Are they wearing uniforms? Are they not wearing uniforms? Are they going to participate? Are they going to be crime fighters? Probably not. Are they going to drive people from point A to point B? Maybe help out with the paperwork, things of that nature. It's a possibility.
When will they come? How many people are going to come? How long will they be here? What are they going to wear? Where are they going to be geographically in the city? What assignments will they have? Those are all questions that we have and that we are going to work through together as a community.
When are they coming? Don't know. Where are they coming? When? Whenever? He has no say. Again, that's the mayor there. He's got no say in any of this. And, I think a lot of people thought Chicago was going to be it, but it was hard to turn down the numbers. Even though they say violent numbers are coming down in Memphis, it's hard to turn down when you look at those numbers. Those numbers are huge. Same thing goes with St. Louis. Certain parts of St. Louis are absolutely just terrifying. And when you hear I know it's crazy to think that Trump would be a little hyperbolic. It's more dangerous than Iraq. It's not. It's not. It's not more, but there's certain places you just don't want to be. And I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to surge TBI, if they're going to send extra people there, if they're going to get the ATF, if they're going to get some. I don't know what they're going to do, or if it is just going to be the National Guard. But it's coming. It is definitely coming. And, the same thing goes for ICE. That's the battle in Chicago right now where you've got a bunch of people out there. It's like, oh, this is the worst. Here's the thing. If you worry about the lady down the street who sells tamales, by the way, if you've never had a Christmas tamale, it's the greatest thing. It's amazing. But she's done nothing. And you worry about that person, and you're in these cities, and your goal is to once again swing and miss at every opportunity to have common sense by making sure that your focus is protecting the bad guys. You're going to fail over and over again. And that's what I see happening. They're going to do this over and over again. They're going to fail over and over again because, as we've talked about on the show on numerous occasions, which is you make the worst choice always. What's behind number 3? Oh, it's billions of dollars for social programs. What's behind number 2? It's free cars and houses to all the homeless. What's behind number 1? It's the worst decision. We'll take number 1. I would like that one, sir. And lo and behold, they have it. Look at Seatbelt laughing at that one. It's true, though, right? Like the worst decision ever.
Yeah, if government can screw it up, it will.
And the Democrats, you are so, they're like, why isn't populism on the left growing? It's simple. Because you're the culture war. You're fighting a culture war. You're not fighting the populism of building up the middle class. People want to romanticize what the Democrats were. They fought for the middle class. They fought for unions, right? They fought for the little guy against the big guy, and they didn't want to tax the big guy out of everything, but they wanted to make sure they paid their fair share, and that we were going to build from the middle class up, and blah. That's gone. It's intelligentsia. It's academia. It's this wacky world of everybody's got 95 genders. And you have to, yes, of course she has a penis. That's as all women do. Like or else. And they take the dumbest pathway over and over again. That's why it doesn't catch on. Because while you may look and say, okay, I could see some of that with the middle class. I could see some of that with how expensive life is. I could see some of that and how we can look at some of this stuff and the crony capitalism. Yeah. The minute it gets to anything cultural related, they bomb. Gone. And that's why they'll continue to fail over and over again. Because they pick the wrong side of reality every single time. And that includes ICE, that includes trying to clean up but when it comes to cleaning up, quote unquote, the neighborhoods, I continue to go back to, you have to understand that these things that you vote on, these people that you put in power over and over again, they're the ones you need to take it up with. You're scared because you don't want to get out of your car, go grocery shopping? How is that people in Nashville's fault? Why should we help the government come and surge what's going on there? That's going to cost a lot of money. That's going to be more show than anything else. That doesn't fix the problem. And the problem starts with the fact that you've got a city council and a bunch of whack DAs who are going to do what? Nothing, probably. And that's the frustration. You continue to go around. It's the death loop. Woo, woo, woo. And you're going to keep getting what you get. That is insanity right there. And Republicans, I look at you, and whether you campaign or even in that district at all, no matter what those districts are, whether Chicago, Memphis, any of these places, you need to go down there and make your voice be heard about this is not how you're supposed to live. This is not what is supposed to happen. This is not. And you got to let it be heard loud and clear that there are better ways than allowing criminals to run wild, because even when you take them off the streets and you put them in jail, they get out within an hour and they're never prosecuted. Doesn't matter how many people you catch if you release everybody and you don't follow through. And why is that? Because you continue to vote for the same people with the same programs that don't work and usually enrich themselves. It's just nuts. Nuts, I say. Nuts. Nuts. A lot of stuff we're going to try to squeeze in today. With some more on Charlie Kirk next hour. I know it is Sunday at, is it State? It's not State Farm. Is it State Farms or is it University of Phoenix Stadium now?
I think it's State Farm.
State Farm.
Is it State Farm? Because I know it was University of Phoenix for a while. It's a home of the Cardinals. So that's going to be Sunday. Okay. So that'll be, I wonder how many people, I know it holds 70, but then you got to start thinking about people on the ground rather than just the crowd. I bet it's packed out. And then the security of that, too. Some of the people are talking about, if you're Secret Service and there's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of high, not only celebrities, people have, known, but also people high up in the government, including the president, across the board. How do you protect a lot of that when you never know what loonies lurking out there? Talk a little bit about that, among other things. If you missed any of the show, make sure you grab our podcast. It is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Relief Factor. Your muscles hurt, right? Maybe you worked out. Maybe you're just getting old, long in the tooth. We're not talking about the spine and stuff like. We're talking about your muscles, the aches and pains on a daily basis. That's where Relief Factor comes in. I take it every single day. It's non-addictive, right? So that's beauty. It's all natural. It's got omega-3 fatty acids, resveratrol, all kinds of amazing things in it, and it helps me recover, especially after I work out. And I go and maybe I'll work out for half an hour and do some hard training with pickleball because I'm trying to get back into it where I can start playing a bunch of tournaments again. And it's nice to know, hey, I don't worry about waking up tomorrow and going, oh, my legs hurt. No, I feel amazing. And it's incredible. Now I want you to try this. So if you're like me and you want to continue to work out and you get a little bit longer in the tooth and you know that, hey, sometimes it's just the muscles and what can you do about it? This is what you can do about it. It's a 3-week quick start. Right now, just $19.95. It's less than a cup of coffee a day. All right. So you're going to experience the difference for yourself. As you get older, you're going to discover a natural way to support your body's comfort. Keep on moving the very best way that you want to and you can every single day. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. Or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4, RELIEF.
All right, drivers north of downtown, if you're headed to downtown, there is a crash blocking the right lane of 65 southbound after you merge with 24. Now, folks on 24 headed eastbound before that merge, you're having to come to a complete stop because of that crash. Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week. We've got that story and more coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And the question remains, why? I don't know. Probably 1,000 reasons. He's not talking. I do know that. Doesn't seem to be saying a word.
Yeah, they say he's uncooperative.
Yeah, and he's on suicide watch. I don't know if we'll ever find out why. Not anytime soon, I don't think. You know, it's, again, the reasons why somebody would think about this. They've probably never met ever, ever, ever. And they didn't know each other on a Wednesday morning. And by Wednesday evening, they'll be entwangled in each other's life for the rest of eternity. He is always going to be remembered as the heinous individual that killed Charlie Kirk. And because of, Charlie Kirk's death, because of this guy, they're going to be there. And the why? Something we just don't know why. And we're a curious creature. We want to know why. We want to know. Although I will say this, we know more about this guy than we do the guy that tried to kill Trump the first time.
Yeah.
We know the other guy, that Routh, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, Ruth.
That guy. So he's still trying to be his own attorney?
Still his own attorney.
Yeah, that's a great way to get a mistrial.
What's the old saying? He who has himself as a client he who represents himself as a fool for a client.
That's right. Exactly. He's going to look around and go, do you see the man that you say pointed the gun? Yeah, you. Note, they said me. I mean, that's,
yeah,
I don't know. The last time I remember any big case like that was, oh God, I forgot his name. I think his last name was Ferguson. He was the guy in the 90s that killed all of those people on the train in New York.
Oh, yeah, and they were just pointing him out.
Every time. They said, can you point out to the person that you said shot everybody in the train? They're like, it was you. Note that they said it was me. I mean, that guy he killed a ton too. God, that was horrific. So,
and he did not care.
He didn't. He did. Talk about somebody who did not care. That guy.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
He loved being in the spotlight like that.
Yeah. Some people do. Just a crazy situation. And again, I don't know why. I mean, I think we could probably kick around in our minds why this guy did what he did. But, it's until he says it, we're always going to have, well, maybe not. Maybe it was this or maybe it was that. More on Charlie Kirk and his assassination. Talk a little bit about that, among other things. Hour number 2 of the program, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers that crash north of downtown, southbound 65, just north of where 24 and 65 split as you're going eastbound 24 and southbound 65. That's backing things up almost to Briley Parkway now. It is especially heavy if you're eastbound 24. You're having to come to a complete stop before you merge there with 65 due to this crash that was blocking the right lane. Looks like they may be about to get that thing cleared. That'll be good news for folks having to drive through there. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week. Matt Gutman says Tyler Robinson sits in jail, reportedly refusing to say anything to investigators.
Authorities say it was his own father who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office after seeing those grainy pictures that were shared with the public. And according to the New York Times, those images were also recognized by acquaintances of the suspect in a group chat on a messaging app. Several of the group members apparently joking with the alleged shooter about how he resembled the person in the photos.
And the funeral and memorial for Charlie Kirk now set for this coming Sunday. It's going to be at State Farm Stadium just outside Phoenix. That's where the Arizona Cardinals play. Got a capacity of 70,000 people. President Trump said he'll be there. Well, there seems to be new developments regarding the future of TikTok. Trump administration officials saying they've reached a framework of a deal with the Chinese ownership of the app.
We heard from the Treasury Secretary, though, saying that the president is expected to talk to China's President Xi at the end of this week after they finalize this and likely announce the deal at that point. We should note that the TikTok app is subject to a permanent ban in this country because of legislation that was passed last year by Congress during the Biden administration. But that was all subject to the ownership shifting to a significant U.S. stake. The president has extended that repeatedly with these 90-day extensions. That deadline now is coming up again, September 17th, in just 2 days.
That's Karen Travers reporting. Right now in Memphis, Mayor Paul Young not happy about President Trump moving forward with plans to deploy the military to curtail crime, but there is nothing he can do about it.
We don't have a say in the National Guard, but our goal is to ensure that we have influence in how they engage in this community. I've spoken with the governor on numerous occasions, and he's been very, very open to that collaboration, as well as the federal government. So we look to have some influence on how they engage.
Yeah, it's unclear when those troops will arrive in Memphis, how many will be deployed, or how long they're going to remain in the city. We'll be here to tell you. And that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Yeah. The FBI, an unusual move, reveals new evidence in the case. I don't know. I don't know what the new evidence is. I know the DNA evidence is they're releasing it, saying that the DNA is all over whatever they have. Again, it's a horrible situation. We kind of know who they have, and they have that person. I don't think there was anybody else involved. And again, how did you get here? It's how did you get here? How did you arrive at that moment in time when you decided in the morning that this is what you were going to do? So I think that's when we want to know who did something, it's not always because we want to know, okay, exactly. We want to know, who were they? Could we twist off? What was this there? What caused them to get to this point? And
how was it that he supposedly had a trans boyfriend who was less enraged by Kirk than he was?
I don't know. That's the person who basically said, what?
And now this guy is like completely cooperating with the investigation.
Well, yeah,
so it doesn't sound like he was.
Don't be killing in my name. If indeed, So apparently there was a letter that not only had DNA from it, but it said the guy in the letter, it said he had a chance to take out Charlie Kirk. And so I don't know. So that was, what's his name? Kash Patel, who I said it the other day, and we got a lot of pushback for it, and I'll say it again. I think he's been useless. I think he's been absolutely useless. For a vast, I thought, of all the people that Trump brought, I said, we'll see what Kash is like. We'll see what Hegseth is like. I had high hopes on Bondi. I don't. I think she's been an absolute massive disappointment. And I think it'd be hard for anybody to go, oh, no, she has been. And Kash Patel, I mean, he's dining at a big restaurant. I want you guys to go and in your mind, if Eric Holder or whoever was in that position when the Democrat was running it was at a big restaurant, had seemed to flail on numerous occasions into something like this, how would you have taken it? You'd be pissed. You would be. And I don't think he's been a good leader. I just don't. I think this whole thing, you can go back a ways. It's just been a battle. And I think the FBI, from what you're hearing too, it's the FBI. When you go and you look at the likes of Pam Bondi and Bongino and Kash, don't get along. It's not a good working relationship. But Trump likes him. And that's all that matters at this point in time. But he hasn't been to me, I think he's flailed. He has. And I think this was not a good look by any accounts. It was basically dad who turned him in along with friends on Discord who were uncomfortable. And so from what I understand, and I'm not big into gamer culture, but some of the stuff that was written on the bullets was furry stuff about furries. Like, Bell, you're big into that. What is your?
No, I am not. The most I know about furries is from an episode of CSI.
Okay. I thought maybe you were. But one of those was a furry thing. Maybe two of them were one of the songs that Bella. But I don't. I mean, it's that's gamer culture.
Furries is not gamer culture. Furries is a complete offshoot. It's its own thing.
But that's what they're talking about. They had a group of, I guess,
of gamers that happen to be into furry.
I guess, okay. Man. I don't know, dude. You would know better. Well, you do gamer culture. I mean, you play games. Do you play games with folks, or do you?
Not anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore.
Why don't you?
I just have no patience for other people anymore.
Yeah, that's true. As you get older, you start to tell you have no patience. It drives you crazy. I watch my son and them, they'll play games and sometimes they are in groups where it's just them and other times there's other people. And I just don't know how you do it. Right? Just how it's play games with people you've never met and you just want to yell at them because they're idiots. Idiots, I say. A lot of you are upset. And I said this weekend, don't look at anything crazy. Stay away from it. Stay away from the rage culture that's out there because so much damn rage culture. And I thought this was interesting. This was last week, Megyn Kelly talking about the rage culture because she can easily, like so many of us, you get sucked into it because you want to watch the insanity that's going on, but all it does is make your blood boil, and that's not good for your blood pressure.
By the left. And in the past, whatever it's been, 18 hours, I've had zero appetite to look at what they're saying about him. Like, I'm having a really difficult time caring. And that's unlike me. Usually on these stories, I definitely look at what the left is saying, and then I usually mock them on my show, and it's somewhat cathartic. But I'm just not there at all. I just feel like they can go themselves. I couldn't give two shits about what they think of Charlie Kirk. They didn't know him. They don't understand any of us. And it's because of willful blindness. They choose to demonize rather than seek to understand. So them.
And that's the way you should look at it and then move on, because otherwise it's going to make your blood boil. They're looking for a reaction. Rage bait. That's what I call it, rage bait. They want a reaction from somebody. And they get it. And look, a lot of these people are getting fired. They're getting suspended. So we were talking about last hour. The tone deafness of being able to cheer on the fact that a human being got murdered, regardless of what you thought of their beliefs, which look, there's a lot of people out there who say a lot of crap. And Charlie had hard beliefs on stuff as far as how he was built and the way he thought of things. None of them were evil. None of them were. I mean, we can debate, the some of the stuff he said about civil rights or some of these other things. Okay, but to think that he was full of hate, that so many people thought, that's so asinine. Not even close to being full of hate. Trust me, there are people out there that live to rile people up and will say the most outrageous. Charlie didn't say outrageous things. He said things to the average person that might be outrageous. And why people felt he was so much of a hate monger and stuff is because of what he had built. See, what he had built was huge, and it's bigger now. What he built was a much different, it wasn't a platform for him. He built Turning Point. It wasn't just an him thing. There was much larger growth that started well before he became the star of it in a way that you could almost separate the two. That's the reason why, because success will always breed haters. When people see the likes of Nick Fuentes, right? So if you guys know who Nick Fuentes is, there's this big thing out there that Nick was the one who had him killed, right? Nick is a troll. He's a, he's a hard right nationalist. He's a caricature, but he's not building anything outside of whatever brand he's building for himself. And so with somebody like Charlie, it's bigger. It's way bigger. So the frustration comes from the fact that there is 3,000 plus people to see him speak. And there are giant areas in which they take over a town when they come in for one of their big events, like Chris and I would talk about. And here it is, oh my God, whether it's in Dallas or Florida, and there are all of these people that come and speak, and it's big. And this is not about the growing the brand through saying most ridiculous things you can. You know how easy that is? It is the easiest thing to do. And he didn't. He went and debated people. I thought it was cool. I did. I thought it was great that he went and debated. Because quite frankly, as both Bell and I have said, I'm not a fan of people. I just get over it. But he went there. And he grew something into something that was formidable. That was something that not only was political, but it was part of pop culture. Which is the other side of this. So much of what people hated him on had zero to do with passing bills It had zero to do with the day-to-day thing that we think of politics. It had a lot to do with culture. And as we have talked about numerous times on the show, the culture wars, especially for the young, are big. And he was winning. He was winning in a big way. The Democrats were losing in a major way. They had lost the culture wars. They had just, because they choose the wrong path over and over again. They choose the wrong path. And because of that, you saw growth. And he picked it up. And he ran with it. And he brought people around him. And, you know, I was watching something with Mark Halperin. Said, did he get some stuff wrong? Of course. But he goes, did that guy study? Did that guy have a belief in a lot of what he said that was real and genuine long before he studied it? Did he care about people? He did. You know, I hear he's like, well, he hated the LGBT. No, he didn't. He never said he hated the LGBTQ plus community, whatever the hell it is. What he said was, that is a lifestyle that he doesn't choose. Okay. Why is that so wrong? Didn't say he hated. By the way, you know, he talked about it, like the sin. God hates all kinds of sin. You may be straight. You may have a wife. You may have 12 girlfriends. He's not thrilled by that either. So there's a lot. But the culture wars is where the battle was. Because the young, especially to get them interested, they're not talking about bills. They're not talking about those kind of things. Yes, it comes up later on about the affordability of colleges. It comes up later on when it comes to a lot of different things. But originally, to bring them in, when you hear them, they're rarely discussing whether or not the one big beautiful bill should be passed. Or how do you feel? It's always about, how do you feel about abortion? How do you feel about the LGBTQ plus community? That's where so much of that stuff was. And it was the culture war. And the left continued to fail. And they continue to fail. And their hatefulness was just, look, I'm not saying there aren't people out there that celebrate when bad things happen to the left, because we know there are, because I get some of your text messages. But theirs is huge. And you watch it and you think, you really believe that your hate, because you look over and you said the right is full of hate, you believe that your hate is morally superior. So therefore you have the right to do this because somehow, some way, you have a moral superiority. You're on the highest of mountains with your superiority. And so you should get a pass. Well, you don't. And you're paying the price for it. And it's not a good look. And by the way, none of this is going to age well. None of it is. Not 1 ounce of this is going to age well. When you look back, and some of you out there, you're going to look back and go, ugh, as you should. And I'm not a big cancel culture guy, get fired guy, but as a business owner, yeah, I don't think I want you roaming around talking to my customers, knowing how you feel about things. Sometimes, what your mom used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Coming up, are we headed to a civil war? Bam, 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 bam. That sounded very ominous. Boo, 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 boo. Will we? Should we? Can we? We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Board Capital, back to basics. This is it, okay? It's a great opportunity for you to get back to the basics when it comes to things that are going on in the marketplace. So this is a free webinar. It is happening at 5:30 our time. You can register at knowyourriskpodcast.com. They're going to talk about, my friends over at Bulwark, fundamentals of value investing globally. and why that working with an investment manager that is active is great. On top of that, they're going to talk about where we're headed for the rest of this year, potentially, and what they're about. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. Free to sign up. It is happening October 2nd. That is a Thursday, 5:30 our time. Sign up by going to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com to sign up today for the Back to Basics free webinar with my friend Zach Abraham, Chief Investment Officer at Bulwark Capital. KnowYourRiskPodcast.com for Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25298.
Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week. We've got a full report on the aftermath of that murder and tensions in Eastern Europe coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's right. So let's see here. Romania, and then you went over to Poland. It's getting spicy, boys.
Yeah, Poland is not happy about what's going on in Belarus right now.
No. Belarus is basically a vassal state. Whatever Putin wants, he gets. And the thing is, there was, if he is serious about just going in and taking over everything, he's not going to go from where he's coming from. He's going to go right through Belarus. Because Belarus, if you go through there, you're going to lead right to Kyiv in a fast way. And I think they're starting to think, screw it, we're just going to take everything over. It's getting nasty over there, boys. Whoo!
Yeah, Poland is itching for it.
They are itching, aren't they?
They've got troops right there on the border.
They are ready. Like, they are. It's understandable.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's understandable. And if they told Belarus to attack today, Russia can't. Belarus can't say no. That guy he's just you're the puppet, dude. You're lucky you're here.
Yeah, he could be the next one if he makes Putin angry to happen to open a door with poison on the handle.
Yeah. and fall out of a window while he's dancing.
Right.
Because those things have happened. So, it's your country, sir. Do what you want with it. I'm just here to just grift for as long as I can until eventually I can escape to some other nation. Oh, good God. I told somebody, don't watch any videos this week. I said, Chad, I took your advice. But then I was watching stuff with coins on it that I really wanted to buy. Then I couldn't have bought those coins. So then I just burned my house down. I think he's kidding.
Yeah.
I hope so. That's a you problem, sir. That's a you problem. God, it is getting spicy out there, And then we've got old Rubio over there kissing the wall and Bibi's ass. And I don't know why. You should be kissing our ass, dude. You bombed an ally of ours. He's like, I took responsibility for that. You didn't. They're still pissed. There was kind of this, hey, you do you, we'll do us, we'll be fine. And you wanted us to pay Hamas for you for years, and we did. You wanted us to let them keep an office here, and you did. And then you bombed us. And he just doesn't care. That's the funny thing. He doesn't care. He's like, sorry about that. Okay. I don't know. It's getting super spicy. Then we got Venezuela. What did we take over, a tuna boat today? Was I just reading that? Well, if you're going to take over a boat that doesn't have drugs, a tuna boat may be the one. I don't like fish, but I do like tuna for whatever reason.
Was it sushi grade?
I don't know. Well, probably not. That's a good question right there. So they didn't have anything on it.
If it was sushi grade, I'm fine with not giving it back. But
yeah. I agree. Well, we're going to find out because we're going after them. We're going after Venezuela. We're going to come hard charging. 4,000 men on a boat. And you don't put 4,000 Marines on a boat. They don't do well. They're there for what reason? And then you've got Venezuela and Guyana going back and forth. They're getting ready to fight, but not really, because we're going to go over and protect them. And by them, I mean the oil under the ground. We would never do that, would we? Oh. Did you see what's her name last night? What's her name? Jennifer Coolidge? Stifler's mom. Somebody found that she was following Charlie Kirk. And so now they want to cancel her. That's not right. What the hell's wrong with people? Well, you're following Charlie Kirk, so that makes you a bad person. Mm-hmm. Do you really think Stifler's mom is a bad person? Who, by the way, she plays a stupid person. You guys do know she's in Mensa. Oh, going to cancel her. We are going to talk about it. The Civil War, the impending Civil War that's coming but not coming. Because over the last 24, 48 hours, that has been trending everywhere. And I have to ask people, are you really? And by that, I mean people with purple hair. Are you really thinking this is coming? Do you really think this is coming? Talk about that, among other things. Bunch of other stuff to get to as well. More on what's going over in Israel. Obviously, Ken's got the latest on the uncomfortableness in Eastern Europe that feels like it's getting even more uncomfortable. And just a bunch of other stuff to get to. If you're missing the show, share when you grab the podcast. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997.
1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. I-65 southbound at Trinity Lane. Still got that crash, but it is not backing things up as terribly as it was before. Still a little slow going through there, but at least it's moving. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week, and reports say Tyler Robinson is not saying anything to investigators there in Utah. Meanwhile, ABC News has obtained some of the 911 calls made immediately after Kirk was shot.
The Kirk speaker at UVU just got shot in the head.
What's the address?
UVU.
And what happened?
He's a speaker, famous guy, Speaker Kirk.
Where
he just got shot in the middle of his speech. I'm in the parking lot. Everybody's running. The whole UVU is running.
Okay.
He just got shot.
Tonight in Murfreesboro, Turning Point USA and Club America holding an event of prayer remembering Charlie Kirk. This is at 7 o'clock tonight near the fountains off of 1500 Medical Center Parkway there in the borough. Right now in Tennessee, Memphis Democrat Mayor Paul Young not happy about President Trump's plan to send the National Guard in to help curtail crime in the city. But Memphis Republican State Senator Brent Taylor telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Manis the mayor can partially blame the prosecutor, District Attorney Stephen Mulroy, whom Senator Taylor says would not get reelected if he ran.
The black community is absolutely fed up with the crime that's going on in their community. Most of the crime is occurring in the African-American community, and that was the base of his support when he ran.
Now, he claims Stephen Mulroy is soft on crime, elected in August of 2022 to serve an 8-year term, so his next election will be in 2030. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys, USS, United Structural Systems. Let me tell you something. Don't let that small crack become something big. You can't see it, but there could be an issue underneath there. Water, standings getting nasty. As it warms up, gets cool, more rain, warms up, gets next thing you know, you got wood rot or mold. That is ugly and nasty, and trust me, it's not good for you at all. That is where my friends at USS come in. They're going to come over. They're going to give you a once-over. It's not going to cost anything, okay? They're going to give you a free inspection. They are not going to sell you anything you don't need, which is awesome. That's not who they are. 30 years in business, and they're amazing. So if you got cracks in your basement, right? If you've got issues where you think maybe you've got your crawl space where not quite sure what's happening in there, foundation, you name it, they're there to take a look and make sure that it doesn't get worse, and they'll make it better. It's that simple. Call them today if you have any issues. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or check them out online at usstn.com. You guys want to know something scary but cool? The Golden Girls was 40 years ago. Was it yesterday, I think, that they debuted? Those ladies were all supposed to be in their 50s. in that show.
On the show? God, they look ancient compared to people now in their 50s.
I know, right? I mean, look at us. I mean, we're a mess, but still, we're way better than that. I think.
And wasn't the one that played the mother, she was the youngest?
Yeah, she was like, well, I think Rue McClanahan was only 51. The other ones were in their late 50s, early 60s. But still, it wasn't like they looked 90.
Yeah.
Like
at least 80s.
Yeah, Estelle Getty, she's like, hey, I mean, and that was supposed to be them in like a retirement, place in the Villages. And I was reading how we look at age now, totally different.
Rue McClanahan spreading around herpes.
That's right. I remember that. Ah, Rue. My Lord. So the coming chaos that's going to be the Civil War, apparently, which is not going to happen. Can I just say that? I've said this once. I'll say it twice. I'll say it a million times. If it is in an app, then there is a very good chance we could have a civil war. If it is not on an app, on the phone, where we can't swipe and or pause it and or come back, then no, there probably won't be a civil war.
A lot of it is that there are people on cable news networks, there are people running podcasts that are talking about civil war. Of course, they talked about civil war before, but they're talking about civil war and needing to go after the left, and they're coming after us. We need to, Elon Musk retweeting tweets in the hours after the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. But again, some of the same people that barely said a word, certainly didn't call for civil war after a Democratic legislator this past summer, the leader of the Democrats, got slaughtered in her home along with her husband.
By a lunatic, and I didn't see anybody cheering. And this is a Minnesota Democrat that wackadoo Vance, whatever, was, God only knows what the hell he was about. But he was a lunatic, and everybody stood up and said that dude was a lunatic.
By a man with a Democratic hit list of 42 Democrats, a kill list. We heard nothing about that. We heard nothing from these people who are now talking about the need for civil war and to go after the left, the wackos on the far left. We heard nothing about that after Josh Shapiro and his family were sleeping inside their home when somebody tried to burn it down and said they wanted to take a hammer to Governor Shapiro's head. We heard nothing about a civil war then.
And you know what? That was awful. But remind everybody, the reason that guy, quote unquote, did that was because he felt that Josh Shapiro wasn't doing anything for Palestine. That's why. And he called in on himself. And that's why he went after them. And I'm here to tell you guys, you out there on the left, and I said it last night, and I'll say it over and over again. If you believe that you're going to have a civil war, you, the gender studies major, you, the purple hair, right, running around all day screaming about how there's no gender equality, you that are LARPing as some sort of Antifa wannabe, which Antifa basically is, you're running around at the park pretending it's the purge, okay? Except you're not purging anything. You're not. Outside of breaking windows and lighting things on fire and tipping over statues, none of this is going to end well for you. You're going to get dropped fast. You're going to bring a lead pipe to a gunfight. It's going to end poorly for you. And then you're all going to be looking around going, what the hell just hit us? Reality. So put away, there's going to be a civil war. There isn't. And the laziness also plays into it. We're lazy folk. I mean, let's not pretend. I mean, there's a reason there's FatCon. I mean, come on. You're not, what do you think? The people in California that are uber progressive are going to get on an airplane and fly across the country to fight people at a park in Tennessee? Like it's the Sharks and the Jets? Well, if it's a dance-off, I've got news for you. Chances are the Republicans are going to lose. But it's not going to be a dance-off. It's going to be an ass whoop-off. And we know what's going to happen. So stop it with the oh, there's going to be a civil war. Oh, you better watch out, Republicans. And people on the right, just ignore them. It's just the best thing to do. A civil war. Good God. You people. Speaking of Josh Shapiro, it's actually talking about this chaos. He doesn't like any of this. And yeah, they went after his family, and it was horrific. And that was a whack job, again, that had nothing to do with somebody on the right. It had all to do with the guy who was pissed about Palestine and felt that Josh Shapiro wasn't doing enough at that time about this.
I think we need to be universal in condemning all political violence. I think that's a responsibility of all elected officials, Republicans and Democrats.
I agree. 100%. Enough. Take the temperature down. Take it down. There is enough wackadoos out there who also don't understand that a lot of what is said has, we like to say, some mustard on it. A little bit of mustard. Right? A little bit of something. Okay? I'm not talking about mayonnaise. We love mayonnaise. I'm talking a little mustard. That it's a little bit more, that we push it a little bit more, that maybe there's some stuff on there that you say to get a reaction, to evoke a reaction out of somebody. Right? We talked about earlier, the rage bait. That there is that out there, that not everybody is sure, is that guy kidding? It's the whole Cousin Eddie thing. So if you remember Christmas Vacation, where Clark loses his mind and wants somebody to go up and get his boss. And he's saying it in a way where he's pissed and angry, but he didn't really mean it. But Cousin Eddie didn't quite understand. And he goes and does it. Not everybody gets that some of it is theatrics.
We cannot allow any political violence to be viewed as acceptable. And as I said before, this is targeted Democrats and Republicans, people on the political left and people on the political right.
So we need to just cool the jets, have conversations. And the people that are lost, that are going to scream and yell, those are the ones that need it the most. The people that are going to come out and say horrific things about Charlie Kirk and the people on the right, they're the ones who need it the most. They're the ones who are hurting the most. They're the ones who are struggling the most because they've been fed a crap ton of lies about how much the people on the right are evil and bad, about how much the people on the right are the worst of the worst, about how much the people on the right are nothing but Nazis and rednecks and knuckles draggers. And that's not true. You and I both know that. Well, a few of you, but outside of that, most of you, no, you're awesome. I was watching this thing the other day on the old TikTok. Chinese TikTok. Don't trust China. It was this lady who moved from California to Florida, and they moved to a super mega place. And her husband was British. And all they talked about was how wonderful everybody was, how nice they were, how kind they were. That politics rarely came up in their conversation, even though they had Trump flags, even though they had all of those things, that they weren't hiding who they were. But they didn't care that you weren't that as a neighbor. They didn't care that you had a differing point of view. They didn't care about any of that stuff, which is the way it should be. Absolutely, it's the way it should be. I think we need to get back to more of that. And when I see people that tweet or text and say, these people are evil and bad, well, they're the ones that need the most help. They're the ones who need to be conversed with. They're the ones who are the ones who've been sold a bill of goods. So many of these young women have been sold this bill of goods because a vast majority of the stuff that I saw over the last several days, minus the weekend, which I did not pay any attention to this stuff because I needed a break, is mostly women. Mostly women pissed and angry. Mostly women screaming and yelling and throwing a party for themselves because they think they won some sort of trophy over this. And they didn't. I go back to what James Carville said.
There are too many preachy females in Democratic campaign culture, all right? And we come across to people as judgmental.
Yeah, that's it. judgmental. And the reason that Charlie talked to people in places where he knew it was going to be a bit of a battle is because he knew that you go to, Jesus went to where the sick were, right? He went to where the trollops were, if you will. The trollops, the gamblers, the den of thieves. Oh, he went to the places where, hey, these people are the sickest. They're the ones who need the message. They're the ones who need the conversation. They're the ones who need to hear a different point of view that's not full of hate and anger. And, it's easy in this business to just sit there and just say crazy, wacky things because it gets clicks and likes. And that's a lot of what these people are doing. A lot of these people that did this and said this, some of them feel this way. Some of them, they thought they'd get a good shock. They didn't realize they were going to get fired or this was going to follow them for the rest of their lives now. But that being said, you're screwed. Did you really mean that? Not because you were going to get fired? Did you really mean these kind of things? Well, then why did you mean that? Have you ever had a conversation? Well, I've heard things. You've heard things out of context, probably. Both sides do. We all hear things out of context, but the left has stuff out of context that's spectacular. They never bother. We have more access to information than ever before, and yet people use it less than ever before. They don't use it at all. They don't bother to take even a second to go, was that really what he said about gays? Is that really what he said about this? Is that really what he said about that?
Instead, that just sounds totally correct.
Yes. I believe in that, Bell.
Vilified him properly.
That's exactly. I believe, Bell, that he's an evil person, and I heard him say something that I thought was evil, and because of that, even Stephen King had to apologize. He came out and said he made a giant mistake about, wanting to stone the gays and all this kind of stuff.
Well, it's sort of a I'm sorry, not sorry kind of apology.
And I'm not saying you have to believe what the right is. I'm not saying that, but I, when I see, like today, this morning and stuff, I engaged with a few of the people that are really angry. And a few got back and a few didn't. But why the anger and hostility? Why? Because trust me, it wasn't that the anger showed up that day. It's been brewing for a long time because somebody's been feeding it. And that includes the algorithms. Chances are professors in some areas. So those are the people that conversations need to have. Those are the people where we need to sit down and say, well, what binds us? Where's that area where we agree on stuff? And then we can talk about some of the other stuff. Coming up. Who knows what? We got a lot of stuff. Did you see the number 1 movie this weekend was?
Yes, and I forgot.
It was the anime movie.
Oh, yeah.
$70 million. Ken just looked at me and goes, there was an anime movie that came out?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
How's The Conjuring still doing?
Conjuring did well. Speaking of that, I got Conjuring news, too. Woo,
all right.
Baby, we'll do that straight ahead. Chad Bench Show. Super Talk 997. Prize Picks. Oh, baby. Football season is here. And ladies and gentlemen, Prize Picks is ready for you. They got great max discounts. You can go to Prize Picks, download the app today, use my code Chad. Now, when you play your first $5 lineup, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So just think about this $5 lineup. They're going to give you $50 immediately into your account, win or lose, to play a bunch more lineups. It's that simple. Now, with Prize Picks, this is about picking more or less on player stats. So you got that knowledge in your head, right? Maybe your boyfriend, you're like, oh, you should play this. Why? Because he has all this silly knowledge. Maybe it's you and your wife. My wife always yells at me. Maybe it's you, ladies. Surprise the guys. Prize Picks is easy to do. It's more or less. Do you think, like yesterday, the max discount was half a yard for Travis Kelce receiving? That's it. If you got more than half a yard, that was one of your 2, and you can play up to 6 wins. It's that simple. and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Now, go download the app today. Again, more or less. You're not picking teams. You're not picking lines. You're picking more or less on their stats. When you do, and you use my code Chad, and you play that first $5 lineup, immediately $50 in lineup straight into your account. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code Chad to get that $50 immediately. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789. All right, kids. Let's talk about my friends over there at Contours. Do you want to look thinner? Do you want to feel amazing? Check this out. Contours has you covered. And I swear by this. I tell you what, guys. The weight, you think, oh, what do I have to do? I can't get this. The love handle's gone, right? My chest, my moobs. What are you going to do? You go to Contours and watch it melt off. Feel it melt off. You're guaranteed to lose 2 inches in your first go. And you're thinking, what? Ladies, this is for all of us here too, right? It is incredible. But here's something amazing. If you go in now and do the Belly Buster package, you're going to get a non-invasive facelift package for free. FDA cleared. 6 FDA cleared treatments. Normally $1,500. You get it for free. And you're going to see the inches melt away. Your shirts will fit better. Your pants will fit better. You'll feel better. So whether you're thinning out because you got a big due coming up, it's the holiday season, or you just want to look lovely, Why not take advantage of this? You can even keep the packages for yourself, ladies or men. It's up to you guys right now. So it's what I want you to do. It's only $99 to start. Go in there. If you don't lose 2 inches across your chest and your tummy, your belly, you don't pay a thing. But you're going to, and you're going to feel amazing. Call Contours today, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or visit ContoursLLC.com. Contours LLC, what do you got to lose but inches and wrinkles?
Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week. Democrats, including the mayor and others in Memphis, claim the National Guard's not needed. But hear what a Republican state senator from there has to say, and that buildup of troops in Poland. We'll tell you about that coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's getting spicy. The Conjuring did well this weekend. Didn't do 70 million. Did a lot more than that last week. But that was the Demon Slayer, whatever it was, the anime. I didn't know. But The Conjuring House from the original 2013 movie in Burrillville, Rhode Island, kids, is for sale. So this is the real life place. Okay, it's 3,000 square feet. It's a farm. It's got like 14 different rooms. And it goes on sale. It's an auction. Friday, October 31st. 11 a.m. local time. Guys, we're getting our pennies together. We are ready to rock this thing. What do you think it sold for the first time?
Were the movies
What
out?
year was it?
2022.
And what's it up for sale now?
Well, I'm not telling you. That's going to be at an auction.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess 300,000.
Can't.
$1 million.
1.5 million.
Wow.
I know. So don't worry though, because we found out it's haunted. So that should help.
Yeah, I'd be careful fishing at that pond out back.
I would too. The lady that has it now, people have complained she hasn't done anything with it. And she's spectacular, by the way. I just want to point that out. So this is where it gets really interesting. She's had some DUIs. I guess she's had some issues with that. So she can't get entertainment licenses. And she's also a spirit medium. She's a medium. And on top of that, she had to fire some of her staff because Arnold, the guy that used to live, so this is the Arnold house, he was telling her that the staff was stealing. So there's that. But you can
stealing stuff from the home?
From the home, stealing stuff from, they had T-shirts and stuff like people were stealing.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. So the previous owner, though, not the medium, but the lady before that had it, said, look, I only stayed there a few times. It was creepy. Stuff moved. I didn't like the lights came on and off. There was always a sense of stuff happening in the house that I didn't like. So it was more of, I think it was going to be a project and didn't work. And by the way, the lady that has it now, she wanted to buy the Lizzie Borden house. But that didn't
somebody just buy that?
Was it us? We'd buy that one? That
No.
seems like something we'd do.
It does, but I think that house just sold.
Doesn't some comedian
Matt
have-
Rife.
Yeah, he's got all of the stuff that apparently Ed and Lorraine Warren kept down in that room.
Yeah, he's got it. So he and his buddy are now the owners of all of that, including the Raggedy Ann doll that is Annabelle. So there's that one.
Man.
Crazy, baby. Crazy. Coming up, hour number 3 of the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash right now, drivers. 24 westbound right there at the Antioch Pike overpass. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Charlie Kirk's accused assassin expected to make his first court appearance this week. Tyler Robinson sits in a Utah jail, reportedly refusing to say anything to investigators. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance today hosted Kirk's podcast.
Vice President Vance spoke about Charlie Kirk as his friend and highlighted what he said was Kirk's incredible influence in conservative politics as Vance hosted Kirk's podcast on Monday afternoon.
He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship.
Vance also echoed recent comments from President Trump, saying he believes that, quote, left-wing extremism contributed to Kirk's death. The motives of the suspect, Tyler Robinson, remain unclear. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Funeral and memorial for Charlie Kirk now set for this coming Sunday at State Farm Stadium just outside of Phoenix. President Trump says he will be there. And right now in Tennessee, Democrats, including the mayor and others in Memphis, claim President Trump's plan to send in the National Guard is not needed and will not work to curtail crime. They cite Memphis Police Department statistics that claims a reduction in violent crime since last year. But Memphis Republican State Senator Brent Taylor telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis this morning.
Even if it is down a little bit, drowning in 10 feet of water feels just like drowning in 7 feet of water. And we have to get this crime level in Memphis down to a manageable level.
So far, no timeline released for the National Guard deployment in Memphis. There's a buildup of troops in Poland as Russian forces launch military war games in Belarus, their key ally. Here's ABC's Patrick Reevell in Belarus.
These exercises are really very diminished compared to how they usually are because Russia is not able to spare the troops because they are too bogged down in Ukraine. But it certainly is causing alarm. Poland has closed its border with Belarus and has also deployed thousands of troops in a show of force.
Yeah, this comes less than a week after Russian drones entered Polish airspace and the war in Ukraine shows no signs of letting up. Cinnamon spice, move over. ABC's Wayne Cabot says there's a new flavor in town.
The new flavor of fall may very well be pecan. For the first time, Starbucks is adding pecan beverages to its full-time menu. Snickers just made its pecan bar a regular item. Orders of pecan-flavored items via DoorDash are up 28% year over year. Trying to agree on a pronunciation for pecan, as we say in the Northeast, or pecan, as some say, can make you nutty. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
What about pecan? That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Happy Monday. The message goes on. Life goes on. We need to look forward. We need to be better and rise above. I love it when I say that. People say, no, we don't, Chad. We need to fight back. No, we need to be better. We fight back because if we actually care, then it's about spreading the message. Right? I'll tell you guys, from what I understand, Charlie wasn't going to be doing the politics much longer. He would still be doing some of it, not like he was. He was really heading towards, can I do this on the faith side? He was texting back and forth with the pastor of his church, talking about this is what he wanted to do. He was moving in that direction. That what I've done with Turning Point, can I do that on a different scale when it comes to religion? Can I become that? Can I become that kind of voice? I think it was already happening. We got a lot of anger out there. Not all of it's real, by the way. Some of it's fake. Some of it's for clicks and like. And a lot of people over this past several days have done stuff that they thought would be hilarious. I'm going to say mean things and I'm going to get clicks and likes. And the endorphins will kick in and I'll be, look at the dopamine. I'm living a great life. Look at all my likes and I've caused controversy. Unpopular opinion here, only to find out that they're unemployed now. That they're a pariah. That they look like, who the hell raised you? And I hope the dopamine kick was good. I hope it was. Horrible thing happened. And opportunities to make this horrible thing better, it's out there. There's no doubt about that. And Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, she talked about it. She talked about who he was and stuff. I don't want to relive all that. Chris and them did a great job of these things this morning. But the message is out there. And that message is, as a Christian, as a believer, that these are the people that need the most help. These are, look, freedom of speech wasn't taken away from anybody. There was accountability. The question is, how do you reach those people? That's it. How do you reach those people that need to be reached, that have been sold a bill of goods that the world is bad because of the likes of Charlie Kirk and all of these other groups that are out there that are, podcasters and whatever, talk radio nuts. No. Because they don't know. They've had no conversations. They've never sat down and talked with an individual. Megyn Kelly, I think it was Friday when she was talking about this with Mark Halperin. And I love Mark. He's arguably, I think he's the best news guy in the business. Yes, I know. Mark had some issues with ladies. He was the first one in the Me Too era in the world of news to get caught. He's apologized. We've all moved on from that now. Okay, because I got somebody earlier good. I know what Mark did, and he knows it, and he's apologized, and we've moved on.
It's such a bastardization by the left. And in the past, whatever it's been, 18 hours, I've had zero appetite to look at what they're saying about him. Like, I'm having a really difficult time caring. And that's unlike me. Usually on these stories, I definitely look at what the left is saying, and then I usually mock them on my show, and it's somewhat cathartic. But I'm just not there at all. I just feel like they can go themselves. I couldn't give two shits about what they think of Charlie Kirk. They didn't know him. They don't understand any of us. And it's because of willful blindness. They choose to demonize rather than seek to understand. So them.
She was pissed. She was upset. She was angry. Rightly so. Somebody said, are you brain dead or something? Actually, I'm not. How can you say freedom of speech hasn't been taken away from anybody? It's been taken away from Charlie Kirk. Actually, his message is louder and clearer in a serious way.
That's what happens when you create a martyr.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't destroyed anything. You've made the message louder. What did Chris say today? Up to 30,000 new requests for chapters? Think about that. The amount of people going. I saw people that were on the left this weekend and said, you know what? I haven't gone to church for a long time. And I felt that we needed to do this. So No. What happened was awful and horrible, no doubt. I mean, nobody's debating that. Nobody is. The question is, how do we reach people, right? Isn't this what Charlie wanted? How do you reach people that are full of hate and anger? How do you reach people whose sole goal is to scream and yell because they've been sold a bill of goods? They've been living in an echo chamber. I love what Scott Adams said. What was he? Is he a Dilbert? Is that what he had? I think that's what he had.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think it's Dilbert. He was talking about it this weekend, all the people that are getting fired. And just kind of the bizarre fact that they thought they were untouchable.
So there are numerous stories of teachers and people associated with schools of various types who are getting canceled, meaning fired, for saying horrible things about essentially being happy or saying it was justified that Charlie Kirk got assassinated. What do you think about that? That people are losing their jobs all over the place. Well, let me tell you the thing that is most shocking about that. The most shocking thing is that the people who spoke out that way believed they wouldn't get fired. I think they were all surprised, which means they've been living entirely within a bubble in which they thought other people would agree with that. Are you kidding me?
That right there is the perfect example of everybody living inside of this bubble world where they have no other opinions, no other view on life outside of what they believe. So many of these leftists and people on the right. In fact, the grandma of the shooter, first of all, I think she's a little wackadoo, but whatever. She said, I've never seen him hold a gun, but they're all MAGA. And she goes, I don't even know a Democrat. Well, obviously you did. And that might have been your grandson, and I'm not even sure he done. I mean,
she's probably going to be the first one to say, I don't think he was living with another boy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, he wasn't, according to them. According to them, he wasn't. But we have to have conversation in this country. We do. Whenever you bring it up, people are, oh, you can't have a conversation with these people. They probably say the same thing about anybody that has a different belief than them. You can't have a conversation with them. And then you find out, well, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to each other than just this. And yes, there's a younger generation that have been fed a bunch of lies and have been essentially living in this echo chamber where they believe that everybody believes what they do and that nobody else believes anything else. Barry Weiss, who is now going to be the ombudsman for CBS and make sure that nothing is said bad about Israel. I remember when they hired her, though, at the New York Times. It was after Trump was won the first time. They brought her in because there was not a soul inside of that room that in the New York Times who thought for a moment that Trump had a chance of winning. Not one person. And they brought her in because they needed to go, we need to figure this out. Who are these people? Who are these people that they talk about that voted for this guy? What are they about? Go see, go talk, go have a conversation. It's an interesting organization. They're all over the country now, and their goal is to bring right, left, progressive, MAGA together to have actual conversations. That's it. It's conversations. Which is what we need more of. Especially if we're out there and we believe in our hearts, we're believers, right? We're believers. And we look and we say, Jesus wants to heal the sick. He didn't come to fix the healthy. They're fine. They're doing okay. And we've got people that are twisted up in their minds who think that everything that the right does is evil. And I'm taking Trump off the table. I'm not even talking about that. Just everything. They're sold a bill of goods in every way, shape, or form. And they're angry and they're pissed. Why is that? Why are you so angry? Nothing in your life has probably changed at all. Outside of being told everything's going to change, yet it never does. Outside of being told that there is going to be you're going to be walking around in the red dress like that movie or that TV show. What's the name of that TV show?
Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale. I mean, it's crazy. And they've probably never been able to have a conversation with anybody because they don't associate with people like that. Well, you need to learn to, and vice versa. Because we need to have conversations. Because the goal should be, let me show you why my ideas are great, but let me show you why I care about you. You're a human being, and we may not agree on everything, but doesn't mean we have to hate each other. I thought that was kind of the message that Charlie wanted out there. That we're not going to, by the way, you shouldn't agree on everything. You shouldn't. There's going to be things that we're going to differ on. Right and left, left and right. Both sides, even if they agree, they're not always going to agree on everything on their own party. But we don't have to be enemies. And people are pissed and angry. You ever ask why? Why are you pissed and angry? Why are you so angry? You think they're going to give you a real? No, they may not even know. Opportunities in a way that we're living in the best time in human history. Outside of the war, potentially, that's about ready to kick off in Eastern Europe. And what's going on in Gaza. For us here in America, we're living at as far as advancements and opportunities, it's huge. Doesn't mean life's not hard. Doesn't think life's not expensive. Doesn't mean. But if you're born in America, you're born kind of on third base. So let's get down to having a conversation. And if you can't do that, I mean, that's not going to help. The goal is just, meme culture and try to win debates online. How many people have won a debate online? Probably not a lot. You may have thought you won a debate, but did you change anybody's mind? No, they just got mad and blocked you or stopped talking to you or ignored whatever like I look at every day I come in, there's Bell. He's sending hilarious things to Robert Reich every day.
Not based on his height.
No. But you may win the argument, but he's going to ignore you. So how do we have conversations?
Well, it's less about for me, it's less about
it's him like pissing with him
as it is having fun with it and hoping other people think about what I said. Because his economic theories are just absolutely complete garbage. They're hot garbage.
Oh, yeah. Totally hot garbage. They're not even good populist arguments. They're just hot garbage. But even if Bell showed him something that was new, and then he'd be like, oh, he's not going to announce that or say that. He's going to go a different way. We have to have conversations. We do. It is utmost that we continue to try to push for more conversation. And the people out there that are hurting, we need to figure out how we get to them, have more conversations. Try to persuade them that, hey, your hate, it's based on fear that's not real. It's based on fear that's not real. I'm not saying there's not injustices in the world and things aren't perfect, but so much of what you hate in this culture battle, and that's a lot of what this is all based in fear and things that aren't going to happen. Coming up, a little bit more of this. Got some other stuff. We could be going to war, kind of, sort of, but not really. Hopefully not. But not where you think. What? Oh, yeah. Everybody's over here looking at Gaza, which, by the way, they just announced they're getting ready to go in. How about that? And then over here, you've got the Eastern Europeans. Well, that's not going as well as we thought.
You like apples? Well, we're not letting you get any apples.
Yeah, you like apples. And then, of course, you've got what's going on in Venezuela. We'll talk about that as well. If you missed the show, shame. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. I promise you tomorrow will be a lot more hilarity. Webroot, it's awesome. Man, don't let your stuff get stolen. By that, I mean your data. Don't let that. Don't let mom and dad who don't really know anything about computers have their life savings taken away because they got scammed. Webroot's going to help you with that. Now, here's the thing. They got plans for individuals. So maybe you're at home. It's just me, Chad. One individual, right? One identity up to 5 devices. Families up to 10 identities and 10 devices. So this is great for entire family, including mom and dad and everybody else. And it's real-time protection against bad things, malware, ransomware, phishing, which is, and so much more. And this is what I love about it. Coverage includes children, seniors, dependents, up to $1 million in theft-related expenses because 4 million people, right? TransUnion just had all their information taken. Oh, that's not good. Don't let that be you because once it's gone and out there, the fight is on. On average, 200-plus hours just to try to claw back some of that. And by then, they're already on and use your name on other sites throughout the dark web. This is going to protect you from that. Webroot's incredible. So this is what I want you to do. It's easy to set up. You go to webroot.com/Chad. They've got 50% off, Webroot Total Protection and Webroot Essentials. Go to webroot.com/Chad, WEBROT.com/Chad. Live a better digital life with Webroot.
Still got a crash showing this is going to be in Rutherford County. Actually, it's a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, but the move over law slowing things down. 24 westbound near the Rocky Fork Road overpass. Accused Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson expected to face formal charges this week. We got more on that and other top stories at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Inflammatory social media posts leading to firings. Again, what were you thinking doing that? And by the way, that should be for anybody. If you're on the right and somebody kills somebody and you think it's hilarious, and we're talking about you're reveling in it in a way that is just because, oh yeah, about time that we got that person. That's sick. You got problems. But I didn't see a lot of that. Not saying it hasn't happened, but you know. I've trained my algorithm over the last several weeks to be about fuzzy creatures screaming at me, funny voices, and a lot of stuff, you know, that is not insane because it's tough. Right? You know, it is tough out there. We got to have this conversation. And some of you are like, I don't want to have a conversation. Well, then you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But I think out there are young people that went to see Charlie. And unlike going to see Ben Shapiro and Crowder and stuff, where they're there to roast them more than anything, he got to them. And that should be it. Can you? And people are like, you can't reach these people. Oh, you can. You can absolutely reach these people. Because they've probably had nobody ever push back on the ideology they've been fed at all. And you would be surprised. You would be. That you can reach these people. By the way, Ken, somebody's asking the question, what's going on at B&A? Lots of traffic over there.
I don't know.
There you go. Ken doesn't know.
Coming and going traffic, I guess.
Yeah, coming and going traffic. Yeah, you heard her here first from the weather, the weather wizard.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, hold. Zip.
This is, looks like we have a police reporting a crash Murfreesboro Pike at Dale Parkway there at B&A.
Okay, there you go.
But I-40 looks clear to me.
Clear, baby, clear. Clear. Ken's super excited. He doesn't care about being. I was going to let you guys know this. Ken checked out when he woke up this morning and realized he was going to go see the Doobie Brothers tonight.
Yes, sir.
Everything has been nothing but Doobie Brothers since then.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there could be war in Eastern Europe, and I'm seeing the Doobie Brothers. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's that. They may arraign this guy tomorrow, but Michael McDonald's going to be on stage tonight with the Doobie. Do you think Michael's going to perform some of his hits?
You know he is.
I hope so.
He better.
Yeah, no
I'll
doubt.
come up on that stage.
We have peace in Ukraine, but Ken's going to be the first one screaming for Blackwater.
That's right.
Roll Blackwater, keep on churning.
Oh, look at he's got it going on all day. I'm excited for you, man.
I freaking love the Doobie Brothers.
You're going to get a T-shirt?
You betcha. I'm going to get all the merch I can.
Oh, I love that.
I like the name of their opening act.
Who is it?
The Coral Reefers.
That's Jimmy's old band, Jimmy Buffett.
I think it is. Yes.
It is.
The Coral Reefers.
The Coral Reefers. I wonder if they're going to sing about weed.
There may be a cloud over the concert tonight.
Nope. The Lord wants you to enjoy in all its glory Michael McDonald, his beard.
Oh, we'll be able to see the concert.
And the 90,000 hits he sang on, some of which were his own.
Absolutely.
That is so cool. That is so weird to think about all the songs he was on. And I'm like, did you get paid for that? It seemed like he just rolled in. They'd ask him to do something. He'd do something. He'd turn around and walk out.
Yeah. I love that.
Sure, his manager was keeping track of who owed what.
That Yacht Rock documentary, man. So he and Chris, I can't remember his name.
Christopher Cross?
Yeah, Christopher Cross. Those dudes crack me up, man. I mean, really, iconic artists, but it was really no big deal to them.
Oh.
They'd just get together and jam.
That's right. By the way, speaking of that kind of thing, there's a new docuseries it's called Into the Void. It's going to be on Hulu. It's all about the hair metal.
Oh, really?
It's all about hair metal.
All right.
And there's going to be like different, they're going to go through everything from, Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Randy, like all of them. And this is going to go through the Satanic Panic and everything.
A lot of preachers made money off that Satanic Panic.
They did, man. There was a lot of preachers who made tons of money off that stuff. The insanity of that wackiness.
I'm looking at the Doobie set list, and I can't recall what's his and what's theirs. But he is doing, they're covering What a Fool Believes, which
that's his.
sang on. No, that's Kenny Loggins.
Well, but
that's him and Kenny.
Yeah, but it was on a Kenny album.
Right.
So they listed as it being a cover.
So, well, that's weird because he's on it, but he didn't write it probably. He didn't. I would assume he didn't. And then Kenny's like, oh, cool. Every time he gets sung, he's like, new money for me.
Yeah,
money. Kenny.
Is Minute by Minute solo or is that Doobie's?
Nope, that's Doobie's.
So he probably doesn't know it's his or not.
There's not a lot of solo in here then.
I mean, who knows? He sang with so many people. There's no telling what he's going to play tonight.
Yeah, there's no telling. And who knows, there could be a special guest.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because we are in Nashville.
In this city?
We are in Nashville, so you never know what might happen. Coming up, we got more on all kinds of goodies. Got some of your text messages as well. It is the Chad Bench Show at Super Talk 99.7.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Accused Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson's expected to face formal charges this week. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer says they may include federal hate crimes.
I think there is an argument here that might be made, especially with this law enforcement, that if this is meant for politics, you can't have a hate crime based on politics. But Charlie Kirk's religion and politics are so intertwined. I could see an argument for this being a motivated based on his religion and the mixture of his politics. The federal government could make a hate crime allowing for murder as well out of this as well.
Law enforcement sources telling ABC News the suspect accused of shooting and killing Kirk was tracking Kirk's movements and familiarized himself with the campus there at Utah Valley University. And reports say there's a framework deal with the Chinese on the ownership of TikTok.
The White House isn't saying what that framework looks like, but a spokesperson for the vice president does say this, that hundreds of millions of Americans will now be able to continue safely enjoying this highly popular app thanks to what they call the president's decisive leadership. So they're acknowledging that a deal is done, but not giving details of what this deal, this framework deal, looks like.
U.S. officials say President Trump and Chinese President Xi going to be providing those details later this week. And a pole vault world record broken for a 14th time by a 25-year-old known as Mondo.
Armand Duplantis was born and raised in Louisiana, but he competes for Sweden, his mother's home country, where he's a huge star. The young man whose nickname is Mondo was in Tokyo at the World Championships, easily winning his 49th straight meet and 5th major title. But he kept the crowd around for another half hour, anxiously watching, hoping to see him go for another world record. And he did it, clearing his top height of 20 feet, 8 inches on his third and final try, the bar wobbling but staying put as he leapt off the mat and began the celebration. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Fall down to the 60s overnight. Will stay warmer than average in the 90s all week long.
Busy Bees, best prices of the year events. Savings are going on. Tons of great savings. But I want you guys to understand the big one here at the end I'm going to read you. It's massive, okay? They got great deals on all kinds of stuff. It's National Grandparents Month. So you can get yourself you can go and say, hey, look, I'm a Busy Bee member, so I can gift something to grandma and grandpa. You can. Right? They got new HVAC. So you need a new one, you get it. You get a 5-year free labor warranty with every purchase. $500 off all kinds of stuff when it comes to plumbing, like water and drain repipes, $300 off tank to tankless water heaters, up to $1,500 off water filtration system. But this is the one. With any HVAC repair or scheduled maintenance, so anyone, you'll get a free dryer vent cleaning, free dryer vent cleaning. That's right. Protect your home, breathe easier, get that. That's with any HVAC repair schedule, that free dryer vent cleaning. What are you waiting for? Call Busy Bee today. Simple and easy, 775-7833, 775-7833, or go to busybeehvac.com to schedule. Okay. So we're firing Bell on this. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega 369. This stuff is awesome. Give it to your dogs every day. It's kind of like a boost of energy, but your dog's food is shelf stable. That's what it is. It's not living food. It's dead food. This helps brings it to life, and it's just one scoop a day. So you get it, you open it, one scoop, boom, away you go. Your dog will eat it up. They're going to love the taste. You can even put some water in there, kind of mix it up. But what happens is all the stuff your dog's food is lacking is inside of this one supplement. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega 369. Now, I want you to try a Jumpstart trial bag. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. It's a few bucks. It's $20 value. Go to ruffgreens.com/Chad today to get it. Watch what happens. Don't change anything with your dog's food that you're giving him now. Just put this one scoop a day on it and watch what happens. ruffgreens.com/Chad. You can text the show. Somebody's not happy. My God, man. Wow, the blue from your eyes. My eyes aren't blue. They're brown. Sir. Or ma'am. Ma'am, sir. 64.
Still wearing contacts?
No. I did wear contacts, just one. And then when I got the surgery, I only got one eye done. So it's pretty cool.
Is that like being a reverse pirate?
It is. So I can see both far, close, that kind of stuff. But this person's the debate about having a conversation. Well, if your goal is I'm done having conversations, I want to go out and have a civil war, then that's what you're going to go and do. Find out how that plays out for you. And if that plays out any different than what's going to happen to this guy. And if you change is the goal to change people's minds? Is the goal to get people to think differently? Is the goal to expand the tent and bring people, whether it's through religion, to your belief, or whether it's through the politics? Is your goal to actually debate, have conversations, and get people to see where you're coming from, and vice versa, and hopefully expand the tent and learn something and teach them something? If that's your goal, then it's there. If your goal is to just go, I want to have a civil war. I saw a lot of this, over the last 24 hours, because yesterday afternoon I had to get on the internet, fortunately, just for my football game. It's fantastic. And if that's your goal, knock yourself out. I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, there's nothing I'm going to say. You want somebody to affirm that it's okay to be pissed off and angry. Yeah, you can be pissed off and angry. Should be. We should all be. But if the goal is to have conversations, what would, someone said, but what would Jesus do? What do you think he would do? You would think he'd say, throw those people away. Get rid of those people. We want nothing to do with those people. I only want people that agree with me. I only want people who believe what I believe. I don't want to talk. If you don't believe any of the stuff, you get away from me. Only want this. I don't want to. No, it's not what he would want. I don't think that's what Charlie would want. So, but so many of you are like, we're going to have a civil war. We're not going to have a civil war. Again, you're not bringing the lazy factor into this. It's just not happening the way it should be. You have to talk more about the lazy factor. Ken, are we at war yet?
Not at war yet. Let's hope it stays that way.
This feels a little bit more provocative than some of the other stuff.
Talking about Belarus war games?
Yeah. This feels a little bit more because if you were going to take over Kyiv, if the goal was to go after Kyiv, you go through Belarus. It's easier. And he's got that line right there. And on top of that, it's not just about them, it's also about Poland. Poland is itching for a fight. They're pissed and angry.
They do not like Putin.
They don't like Putin. Well, you know what? There's a lot of animosity.
Nobody really does, but
No.
they really.
No, because he sees them as the first line of evil when it comes to NATO. And of all of that, they're the toughest line. There is nobody, if you were to ask me, outside of the nuclear options, but NATO has those, but if as a nation itself, I don't think any other nation at this moment in time would be as formidable as Poland would be against Russia. I mean, Germany, they're not all that. France,
I mean, I know Ukraine's using our weapons, but they're killing a lot of Russians.
They are.
Imagine what the Polish would do.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Brits, they have the SAS, and they may have in certain soldiers and groups that may be, tier 1 operators. But as far as just across the board, man, the Poles, whoo, my. And they're itching. And they've been spending lots of money. They have been. So this just feels a little bit more, a little bit more provocative.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I mean, last week, whenever the Russian drones, violated the Polish airspace, that, I don't know if that was a mistake on the Pooter's part. I'm wondering if he did that intentionally.
Oh, I think he
just
did.
to see what would happen.
I think that was a test. That was a test.
Comes after their big parade over there in Beijing.
Mm-hmm. That was a test. That was let me just test a little bit to see if what you're willing to do.
Yeah, if it had been 1 or 2 drones, you might have been able to call it a mistake, but it was, 19?
Yeah. And they didn't kill anybody.
No.
Because that'll be the next test. Will they accidentally fire something off, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as we know that's baloney, and wipe out a small area where they kill several people, which is going to bring Poland into play. And they did that again with Romania this weekend, which is they're testing to see how much guts the European NATO allies have. Not so much America. I think they think America's not going to get involved. I think they think Trump is going to go, you know what? This is Europe's backyard. You guys keep buying oil from them. You keep funding these things. You keep allowing this stuff to happen. So this is going to be your problem, and we're not going to get involved. We may give you guys some weapons or promise you some other stuff, but I don't think we're going to have boots on the ground. And I think he wants to see if that's true. So it's all happening, kids. The spiciness is getting more spicy than ever before. And that's kind of not a good thing. It isn't. It's not. I don't want to see more. What's going to happen in Gaza City is going to be a nightmare in the coming days. An absolute nightmare. And millions of people have nowhere to go, and they have no way to get there. And there was that song, too. What was that? That was you, Ken. I know it was you.
Yeah, but I don't know where it's from.
Probably from that YouTube tab, Yacht Rock, you got open.
Oh, you got the Yacht Rock?
I don't. I have no idea where that came from.
Does anybody know that song? I kind of figured out. I'm just trying.
It sounded like the Beatles.
Yeah, it did. I think that's what it was. We named that song in 1 second. So awesome that was.
Yeah, it was Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah, there you guys go. Not there tonight, by the way. By the way, somebody said, don't be surprised if the Nude shows up tonight. Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. That'd be interesting. I hope there's. Oh, you better send us a bunch of pictures.
Oh, I will.
Speaking of that, I sent the guys this weekend the absolutely hilarious wiener dog.
Yeah.
Because we needed some laughter. And it was this wiener dog that would live inside this guy's shirt, and all he came up for was snacks.
Yeah.
And this is why you get a dog and not a cat.
Bell. Yeah, little weenies, they like to burrow.
It's their jam, man.
They like to get underneath stuff.
That's what they do. Who's excited in Memphis? I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they're the next contestant of Trump sending some people over to your place.
They just hang out around the train station and the federal building and maybe the IRS center. Those are not places where we have crime. So it's a show for him. It's the Trump show. And he likes to do TV shows. He likes to produce, and he likes to look tough. And it's all part of a bigger strategy to really be authoritarian.
No, but it is a show. I've said that. I mean, they're not doing anything. He could do more with them when it came to D.C. because it's federal. Here, he can only have them guard things that are federal. They're not going to do anything else. Maybe they can drive some people around. They're not going to be out doing stuff as far as, catching robbers or violent gangsters. There's going to be none of that stuff going on. But doesn't mean that he can't send in TBI. We've talked about this. You can surge all kinds of people there. But it goes back to the thing when it comes to crime, which is, are you going to prosecute anybody that's arrested? Go look at what's happening in D.C. Remember all those people that were arrested? Not a lot's happened. Most of them, they've declined to prosecute them or released them. So all that for what? You still need the back end of the after the capture and the taking into custody of somebody bad. You can't just have the, hey, we took everybody in to custody and then we released them. Because then it just really is a show.
It's high, but the National Guard won't stop that. Working with the FBI, which we've done, working with DEA, which we've done, and working with ATF would help. Those groups know how to police. They know police law. They know police strategy. They know how to patrol.
Yeah, well, you're going to find out what it's like to have the IRS building guarded in an area that there isn't a lot of crime. You probably don't see a lot of crime. Quick, to the IRS building. Go get me some stuff. I don't think that's going to be happening. But it's a show thing for Trump. But part of that is to show, look, we're here for the crime. All right? I told you guys I was coming. You guys can't live like this. Nobody's supposed to live like this. But is that Trump's issue on the federal side? No, it's not. Should that be everybody else's issue? No, that's a Memphis issue. Memphis is a hot... There is no walking in Memphis at this point in time. Because if you're walking in Memphis in certain areas, yeah, your feet may not be on the ground.
True that.
So if you want to say that it's a show, yeah, I've said that. Now, what do? Well, it still goes back to you continue to put people in power because they have gerrymandered their areas in such a way that the chances of Republicans winning and getting in DAs that are willing to prosecute outside of a few heinous crimes are slim to none. So you end up with the vicious cycle of poverty and crime. Poverty and crime. And you may not want that, but that's what you get because you're not doing what you need to do, which is holding your elected officials accountable. This is a woman in Memphis who's not thrilled by all the things going down in Memphis.
And, you know, it's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to the market or the service station. So, yeah, I want to see the crime stop. And if the National Guard is going to stop the crime, bring them out.
Well, they're not, but it'll be a show. And the left can sit there and go, well, it's just a show. Well, you know what? It may be just a show, but the reality is what you guys have done show-wise, it's a failing show. And your people are suffering in a major way. And you're not helping them by pretending you don't have a problem. You gotta face up to it. You got a problem. How do you fix it? And I don't know what the numbers are. I don't believe the numbers in a lot of places when it comes to government because everybody is always fixing the numbers to benefit themselves. All right, coming up, we got the welcome Matt straight ahead. Matt is here, right? I have yet to see him. Normally he wanders by now.
Yeah, he was talking football over here in the newsroom.
Because he went to the game. We're going to find out how the game was. I saw some tweets. Hope he got out of there alive. I think he did because he's here. But, man, you know, he was very excited about that game, baby. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Tip, 997. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the big dog in the house. How excited were you?
Hi. Hello.
I saw you in your victory smile after the game.
Oh, big thumbs up. Yeah, sometimes those are the best types of victories, those unexpected ones that you pull from the jaws of defeat.
That you probably thought we shouldn't have won that one.
Oh, no, we should have won that.
So,
the idea of completing a 26-yard pass on 4th and 7 to just get to the 2-point conversion, then you convert the 2-point conversion, and then they miss the. That's one of those games.
Man.
So, but good for Tennessee and the people. Let me tell you, I try to do this because everybody relates their negative stories, especially with something like football.
Yeah.
Had a great time. The people were great. Had one little mild interaction with a guy that kept wanting to talk to me after every score, and I finally had to tell him, like, he was like 6 rows down. And he had to he was reaching over people to get my attention. And when it was
Matthew,
that's right. That's what he's doing.
Was it only when Tennessee scored, or when he wanted to talk to you about politics?
No. It's just when Tennessee was scoring, and I guess it was just when Tennessee was scoring because they were scoring a lot early.
Yeah, they were.
But yeah, like after when it was 21-7, and it was like the 4th time that he wanted to talk to me about stuff, and I was like, hey, I was like, hey, we don't have to talk every time. It's cool, but we don't have to talk.
Did you want to reach over afterwards and go, well, I can't believe we won that one?
Well, so I leaned over to Eric and I said, should I ask him if he wants to talk now? And she said, no, we should leave.
No.
But that was a great Saturday. Jackson did well in the car, to and fro. And we ended up taking Jackson like he was our own to the game. I don't know why that happened or how that happened. Yeah, it was weird.
Were all your tickets together?
They were not. Jackson was. We were in one area.
They
and Jackson
sat in
was
first class. Jackson got to sit and coach.
You were on the 50-yard line.
It was an insane. I have no idea how we got those seats. I have no idea why we were where we were, but by some sort of level of happenstance, we ended up in. I think we were in the president's row. And once again, I have no idea. Like the president of the university, Randy Boyd.
Yeah.
Because everybody around, like in the immediate vicinity, is like, oh, do you work with Randy? Are you with Randy? Oh, I'm with Randy. Or do you work with that? It's like, I don't work.
Are you part of the Georgia?
Right. You must be some muckety muck over in Athens or something or another. But no, the people were very nice. Everybody in Neyland, everybody around the stadium before and after the game was nothing but nice. So that's good.
That is good.
That's good. And it was. I say this, and I'll talk about it on the air today on my show. I heard you mention that you just kind of dissolved your way out of politics. I had to put it down.
Yeah.
Certainly for Saturday, all day Saturday, it was just like, I'm focused on good things, positive energy, and not negative energy. And it was good. It was nice to recharge the batteries.
That's good. Well, speaking of recharging the batteries, Matt is straight ahead. And, of course, tonight we're going to expect a full report from you. Ken, by the way, he doesn't care anything about the news. What you're going to get is one news story and then him being excited about the fact that he's going to the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, tonight.
He's going Doobie Brothers tonight?
Yes, sir.
And Michael McDonald?
Yes, sir.
From somewhere back in
long ago.
Wait, what was Michael? Who was Michael McDonald with?
The Doobie Brothers.
He was with the Doobie Brothers.
And then everybody else ever in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he said he got that voice. Everybody knows who was singing.
He liked to sing about MCI before they went bankrupt.
And you got to do the keyboard. You can't do the impersonation without doing the keyboard.
You guys have a good one, Matt. Straight ahead.